Every story, every book, every movie, every piece of music has a climax. And oftentimes in music, that climax is accompanied by a huge cymbal crash. A crash will make everybody feel good, feel the excitement running through them. And today you are going to be taught how to play the cymbals by the TSO percussionist, Toronto Symphony Orchestra percussionist, John Rudolph. He's going to show you how to hold them, how to pick them up, how to play them properly, which hand goes where, and how to make that great, fantastic cymbal sound. You're joining hundreds of students from all over Ontario in this lesson, all of you beginning your journey to not just learning the cymbals, but to making people feel good with the musical instrument, and that's what's really important. So at the end of this lesson, you might have some questions. Please be sure to contact us at schoolconcerts@tso.ca. That's schoolconcerts@tso.ca. We'll do our best to get back to you. So let's begin the journey and learn lots from John Rudolph.
Every percussionist loves playing cymbals. It's such a thrill to be part of so many special moments in music while playing these instruments. So let's talk about the basics. First of all, holding the cymbals. Make sure your strap is flat. It's not twisted in any way. Take the top of it with your thumb and first finger, index finger, much like you might grip a snare drum stick. Take the rest of the strap in your third, fourth, and fifth fingers and wrap them around. Try to stay as relaxed as possible, which is a challenge because these instruments are so heavy. Some players like to leave a little gap between their hand and the cymbal. I like to get closer for control. Some players will also extend their thumb for control. I don't like doing that. I find it just creates a little more tension. And as with every instrument, we're trying to play as relaxed as possible. The standing position, my feet are shoulder width apart. Sometimes I'll put my left foot in front of my right or the other way around. It's just like an athlete. You are ready. You're in a ready position to make an athletic move. I'll feel the energy come right up through the floor, through my body to the cymbals, right to the follow-through. The simplest way I can tell you to play cymbals is, assuming you're right-handed, take your right hand, palm down, left hand below it. Bring your left hand up and kick the right hand away. I have obviously a low ceiling here, so I'll sit on the stool to show you that. And doing it with the cymbals. Now getting into that with a little more detail, if you're right-handed, the cymbals are tilted to the left, and most young players will bring their right hand up to their left. My advice would be to come down with the right, and the left hand comes up. Try it. I think you'll see there's a little less tension. It feels a little more natural to do that. How much tilt is a consideration. Usually for the shorter, faster notes, we'll have the cymbals more like that. Louder notes, they're tilted. It doesn't matter which cymbal is on top or which way you tilt it. It's all comfort. It's all what feels good and natural to you. And I would follow the advice of your teacher or your band director. That's always a good idea. So we can think of each cymbal as being in a little circle. If I make a circle with the right hand, it goes like that. And I make a circle with the left hand, it goes like that. To avoid the dreaded air pocket, which sounds bad and can actually damage the cymbals, we try not to have them hit too flush. We'll try to take what we call a little bite out of the cymbal so that I'm contacting there and not down there. Another good idea is to think of one edge of the cymbal, either the bottom edges or the top edges, contacting first. Some people will say the word flam. Think of a flam so it isn't too sharp a sound. Another trick that I learned from my colleague Charles Settle is to say the sound that you would like to create. He will say cha. So if you think cha. Another good idea is to use cymbal pads, especially for a young player. Now, I'm not talking about the big, thick, woolen marching pads. Those are great for marching band, but we need something that won't affect the sound, the resonance of the cymbals. So these are just felt, thinner felt. And it's very important for comfort, as I said, especially for a young player. Even a professional will use them. If we're playing any kind of march or repetitive passages in the orchestra, I will use the pads. The last movement of Tchaikovsky Symphony No. 4 is a great example, especially if you're rehearsing it a few times and then having to perform it that night. I will make use of the pads. So that's what they look like. It really does make a difference. The comfort level is really important. Now I mentioned about fast strokes. So we're going to hold the cymbals like that, and we're going to move both hands together. Really in a direct blow. We'll offset the cymbals so I don't trap too much air. And it's important to use your big muscles. Think of the energy coming from your back, right through your arms. One of my teachers said, use your biceps. This is also good for short notes. I try to muffle into my stomach. And that downward motion with the right hand helps. You're already traveling to where you need to muffle it. If you were moving up with the right hand, it's two motions. This way it's one. Soft crashes, also a consideration. Most players will go to a smaller pair of cymbals, which is a good idea. I do that. But you can play soft. These are 19-inch cymbals, a little big for a student. You would probably want maybe no larger than 18s. These are 17-inch cymbals. With any crash, any volume, I try to put the cymbals together. Gives me an idea, okay, this feels good. Here's security. Here's where I need to play. This is where I want to end up. And for the soft notes, I do try to line them up. Not take too much of a bite. It's a good idea to be comfortable, feel how the cymbals fit together. And you can even put a mark on them with a pencil. You're left there and you're right there. Just to, again, gives you security, gives you confidence. Here's where I can get a good sound. Some players will put the heavier cymbal in their left hand, that's a good idea. I generally just feel most confident doing it how I get a good sound, which I will think of a left and a right cymbal. Sometimes I'll mark them on the inside, put left with magic marker here. A big consideration is to have a cymbal table. You don't want to be standing in rehearsal holding the cymbals. You'll get tired very quickly. I just have the top of my glockenspiel case on my trap table with my marimba blanket. So when you're resting, it's good to rest the cymbals. Don't stand there the whole time like that. When I get ready to play, I'll put them together as quietly as possible, step back, and cha. Let's talk about suspended cymbal. So generally, the music will say, play with timpani sticks. But we don't do that. We use marimba mallets. You can experiment with the different sounds possible. Sometimes sticks like I just played across from each other. They can be closer to the player. Or one in here. It's nice to start the cymbal with a stroke, with a double stroke. And if you have to muffle quickly, I get up close and use my body. To play with snare drum sticks, usually we'll play halfway between the edge of the cymbal and the bell. And it may be necessary for articulation to muffle the cymbal. That helps the rhythm sound more clear. A nice effect on the cymbal is to take a triangle beater. Sometimes it will be asked for in the music to do this, but you can be creative. If there is a moment in the music that you feel this might work, you could start a little faster. The possibilities are endless. So thanks for watching, and remember to have fun.